Hello everyone, and I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to the fantasy match preview for the game between New Zealand and Bangladesh. Now, New Zealand are coming off a loss in their first game against Pakistan, and so are Bangladesh. So, both of these teams are pretty much in a must win scenario. So, will be an important game for both these teams to stay in context for this tri series, and I think it'll be a good game for us fantasy wise too, as you'll have some interesting picks to make. First up, let's take the guys that you take in both scenarios, whether batting first or bowling first. Devin Conway would be in your team in both scenarios, so I'm going with him. So would Kane Williamson. Then, when you look at the all rounders, Mehdi Hassan Miraz, because of the important role that he's playing opening as well as bowling some important overs, would be in your team in both scenarios. And so would Trent Bolt and Tim Southee because of the importance of their pace, and that would also play a key role against a team like New Zealand. So I think these guys should be in your team in all scenarios and should make most of your GL based teams unless you have some major differential chances to take. Apart from that, let's discuss who are the people who you can now pick. So first up in the keeping section, Liton Das is a decent choice, I'd say, but because he's batting up in the top 4-5, I think he can have some troubles against pace. While Finn Allen would be a 50-50 choice if you feel like he's going to get away against Nasoom Ahmed, then I think he can have a good outing against the rest of the Bangladeshi bowlers. The problem with picking players like Finn Allen in a fantasy team is that they play very high risk cricket. So on their day they will be captain of the dream team. On another day they will not feature in the team at all. So that is a choice that you have to make. These are obviously grand league sort of discussions. For small leagues, I'll tell you what I'm thinking about. So if you see the batting section here, Mark Chapman batted really well yesterday. So did Glenn Phillips. I'm still more inclined to go towards Glenn Phillips because I feel like if they have a good enough amount of spin, like if you see Bangladesh, if they tackle Chapman with Mehdi Hassan Miraz, off spin can be an Achilles heels for him. And remember, Pakistan did not have off spin, so they were not able to neutralize him as easily. As far as your Bangladesh batter is concerned here, I know that most people are going to go with Afif Hussain, but I have one doubt here that Afif Hussain against Southee, Bolt, and Tickner, I don't know if he'll be able to handle the pace and bounce that well. Versus if you saw that first game and if you saw the way Yasir Ali Chaudhry batted, he batted and tackled pace pretty well. So if you're expecting a collapse up top, then he's the man to go with. If you're not, then you can go with Afif. Obviously, Afif is the safer choice, but for now, I'm picking Yasir Ali based on what I feel about the game. Then you look at the all-rounder section. Here, obviously, if Shakib Al Hasan plays, you can take him. From whatever I understand, it was more like just sort of a rest of him not playing in that first game, but expecting him to do so. So I'm slotting him in for now. When you look at the bowling section, I think I will still end up going with Blair Tickner in both scenarios, that too, because I feel like if you saw that first game, he did get some decent amount of bounce, and you know that he does have some change ups too, so he can be very handy and very useful. The guy whose form would be a concern for New Zealand is Sodhi. He got hit for a few runs in that first game, but you have to think about this from two scenarios. That one is they either totally play out the pace and then they give their wickets in the middle to Ish, or the other scenario being that they lose their wickets to pace and then in the middle overs they end up losing wickets to Ish. So it can go either way, but because you're making a small league team, you don't want to take a chance on any bowler coming and taking majority wickets, especially because it's a weaker team. I think I'd like to cover all of the bowlers, and hence I'm going with all four of them. Now, who would be your final pick? And obviously now this has to be a Bangladesh player so that you don't lose balance of the team. I think if Bangladesh bowl first, you can go with Mustafizur Rahman. If Bangladesh are bowling second, I'm more inclined to go with Mosaddek Hossain. Why? Because Fizz's form has not been great, while Mosaddek, if he's batting first, will surely get batting, and in the second innings, he has a decent chance of bowling some spin too. So I think this makes the team very balanced, because if you see now you have three bowling options from Bangladesh. You still cover a good enough amount of bowling from New Zealand too. You also have four genuine batting options from Bangladesh and three genuine batting options from New Zealand. So I guess this balance is pretty much fine. Apart from that, if you feel like any New Zealand batter is going to fire, any Bangladesh bowler is going to fire specifically, you can pick them. But I feel like the balance of this team does the job for me. Captaincy and vice captaincy, I'm still inclined to go with Tim Southee. I think he bowled very well, and the figures, even though if it was 1 for 24, I felt he deserved another wicket. There was a drop catch here and there too, so I don't think that'll happen every day. Vice captaincy, if New Zealand bowled first, Trent bowled, and otherwise I'm slightly inclined towards Mehdi Hasan Miraz. But for now, with logic, I'm going with Trent Bolt. So this is what my final team looks like, and I think like this is an amazing game for you to try Grand Leagues, because so many of these guys are potential Grand League captaincy, vice captaincy material, and maybe you can make a few teams in favor of Bangladesh too. Now let's look at the Exchange 22 picks for this game if they like. So here we are on the Exchange 22 app. Here you can buy or sell specific players, or you can go with the multi-bagger too. If you feel like one player is going to get the highest amount of points, you go ahead and buy them. But for now, let's look at the buy and sell section. So first up, buy and sell. I think Glenn Phillips at 27 if batting first will be a very good choice. So will Ish Sodhi if he's bowling second. Tim Southee in both scenarios, and Trent Bolt and Blair Tickner if bowling first. And I don't think you'd want to go with any of the other batters. I feel like they're slightly overpriced from Bangladesh. When you look at the specific order, I think Mehdi Hasan Miraz will be a lot of value, so I think can be a decent choice. Yasir Ali, like you saw, I opted for him, and at 20 I don't think he's overly priced, so if he's batting first, you can surely consider him. And I think apart from that, we're pretty much good here. Mustafizur Rahman if bowling first, you can opt for and Naseem Ahmed if he's bowling second at 20. If he gets a wicket or more, you're over and above your cost. So I think these are my buys and sells for this specific game. Apart from that, if you have any doubts, feel free to drop them in the comment section of this video, and do hit the like button before you leave. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you all have a great game. All the good luck to you.